President Donald Trump said that he long ago informed Tim Cook of Apple that he
Okay.
expects their iPhones will be sold in the US, will be manufactured and built in the US. And if that's not the case, he will apply a 25% tariff at least
Hmm.
on Apple in the US. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Um, we've talked a lot on the show about Apple moving manufacturing out of China, Jason, into
Yep.
India, into places like Vietnam, part of the China plus one, China plus two strategy. That's a lot of work. Apple, just after years of effort, is now producing its top end phones in India. The chance that they can move that production to the US is very slim. So to me, this is a relatively incoherent slap on Apple. And I'm a little bit perplexed on what Trump actually wants them to do. But Apple's done what is the smart thing. They donated to the inauguration fund. They announced more investments in the US. They tried to get ahead of
Okay.
Trump, if you will. So I'm kind of curious what you think Trump wants to accomplish with this because manufacturing is not coming here.
It's Friday. Bessent apparently was on CNBC or something, and somebody got to Trump, and he felt like doing a spicy tweet. This is ridiculous. It's unrealistic. They're not going to move the entire supply chain to America. It's an impossible task to do that in any kind of realistic time frame. Why is that an impossible task, you ask? Well, you would have to move a very large number of very sophisticated factories here. And I don't know what you do with all the equipment that Apple has invested in China and India. Would that all get burned? What number of phones have to be built here? All of them? Some of them? You know, this is the perfect example of rule number one is wait 72 hours. Um, and just as the market had roared back and we had some stability in the tariff conversation, Trump does Trump. I think that this will not happen because you would also need Lon, a couple of million people to work in these factories. So you're going to need hundreds of thousands of people who have, well, I'd say tens of thousands of highly skilled manufacturing people. Here's my tweet from today. You would need tens of thousands of very highly skilled people to build these factories over, I don't know, 5 years. There's machinery that is extremely labor intensive to build and sophisticated. Then you would need, I believe there are low millions of people, was the number I heard, 2, 3 million people who actually work on the iPhone product line factories. So you're going to need to find 3 million people. That means you're going to need to find multiple cities with 3 million homes. And by the way, people live in dorms at Foxconn. There are dormitories. So in order to get this done, I think we would need, with the historic low unemployment of 4%, we would need about 10,000 people immigrating per week
Mhm.
indefinitely. Certainly past and through this Trump second term and well into his third term. We would need 10,000 people a week. So this is just one of those that we do not need to over-index on. This is not happening. This is just a Friday afternoon tweet, spicy tweet from Trump. Ignore it. It's not happening. There will not be a 25% tariff on Apple. But Tim Cook will come and make some sort of gesture.
You do have to consider, though, who he's talking to. Like, who is this aimed at? And that's what I think is confusing about this one, because it's not the public. I don't think Americans or MAGA people are crying out like, "We want factory jobs where we build iPhones." Like, that's historically not thought of as, like, the
Yeah.
great job Americans want. But it's not Wall Street that he's aiming this at. And I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. I feel like this is aimed at Tim Cook. The audience
Yes.
for this is Tim Cook. He wants another favor. He wants Tim Cook to come kiss
He
the
didn't.
ring again.
Well, no, he didn't come to the Middle East, right? So Tim Cook
Right.
wasn't in the Middle East. He pointed that out, I think, that Tim Cook wasn't there. And, the number one thing you have to do with this president is you have to be in the mix with him, and he wasn't in the mix.
Yeah.
So
I really think that might be it.